Hi everyone, my name is Sunny and today's video is a celebrity pick a card and it's going to be sort of like a yes or no but a little bit longer. So I have 3 piles you may choose from left to right. I have pile 1, 2, and 3. So if you need more time, you're more than welcome to pause the video. Otherwise, I will go ahead and start with pile number 1. Do keep in mind that the majority of the cards, if they're upright, is going to be yes, and if it's reversals for the most part, it will be a no. So I'm sorry I left the cards over here, but I've redone this video like 4 times and I was almost done, and then the battery died and it did not save and I was very frustrated. So if you feel like I'm speeding, I'm so sorry, but I'm tired. I'm just tired of doing the same particular one over and over, and I just think it's like Mercury retrograde issue. Maybe it might not be Mercury retrograde when I post this, but it is now, and it's very upsetting to say the least. So pile number 1, you guys have the moon card upright, the seven of wands reversed, and your last card is the 5 of swords upright. So is your celebrity crush a picky not a picky person? Is your celebrity crush a geeky person? I'm so sorry. So this is a yes. There's 2 uprights, 1 reversal. So for the majority of you, I feel that for the most part, your celebrity crush is a geeky person, someone that might. I think you left wondering with this moon card if they are or aren't, but I think they leave people wondering, not just you overall, even in their close vicinity, that they tend to maybe downplay or like hide their geekiness because there may be their fears of judgment or rejection, or that they might feel like they're quote unquote losery, even though they're not. It's just that sometimes they can feel like that. No matter how successful you feel that a person could be, that doesn't change their emotional space. There you go. Their emotional space might feel different very much compared to what you might portray towards them. So like if you think, oh, they're successful, of course they would have everything and people would love them, but they still have their own hangups. Everybody was a person before they became someone in the public spot, in the public eye. So maybe it's a childhood issue, but maybe they felt excluded before because they were geeky. But this person might just be a little bit more not like a hideout person, but someone who kind of keeps it more private or more just close to people that know them very well, or they don't have that much time, for example, to geek out. So if they meet somebody else to geek out, they feel seen. It's like birds of a feather, right? So maybe they geek out in a way where they might like Sailor Moon, or they might like doing Dungeons and Dragons games. Like every geekiness is different, but I do feel that this person likes to geek out overall. So there's that. As to what, every person will be different. It's not going to entail that, but I do think they enjoy maybe doing their not their habits, their pastimes when they have free time, maybe in the late afternoon towards the night, or maybe they play Pokemon Go and they geek out with Pokemon and they love playing on the app, or maybe they like video games too and they have there's this lore of each franchise or game, and they basically geek out in that way, and they meet people through Discord, or they just talk over stuff, or they might also be vocal about it with their audience, but they might not put like a spotlight on it too much because they might have other things to advertise or other work related stuff that it's not like it occupies that much of their time. So when they meet other people that like think alike, they might enjoy that too, or they might have to fight people off to like not feel as geeky, or like they might feel, if they feel judged or rejected, because there's like fighting cards over here. So I don't know if they had to fight people off, like it's not geeky. Maybe they're trying to fight on people, like it's not a geeky thing if they like dork out on like the Lord of the Rings or something, right? But people are like, that's dorky, that's geeky, or something like that, and they could have like a room full of like action figures too, or they might be judged also by how much they spend on their pastimes because they can afford it. Like they have, every person decides to spend their finances differently, and maybe your celebrity crush decides to geek out, right? Do comic books or do action figures or have a display of cute stuff on their shelves, right? And they enjoy to regularly clean them in their own privacy. So maybe that's why they feel like if they're open about that, they might feel more judged within their close circle of friends, or by their public. That's why they're like, I don't want to be rejected, like I don't want them to feel like that. So that's kind of it basically with them. Maybe they might also get very defensive with people when they feel like they're being cut down, like, you like that, like in that condescending kind of tone, and then they'll like snap and they'll come back like, yeah, you like this and it's something, right? So like they might just come up with something really fast, and it might be a little bit hurtful, just to basically tear down people's egos, but they are tired of being put in their place when they get judged. So that's why they might be a little bit more, they might have this passive aggressive thing, but they might just be very wordy in that way, where they will call out somebody or like be that first person to like defend their hobby. It's like, it's not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. So it can be like that. It's kind of funny in this way. So let me just get a confirmation card for you. So for you guys, I have this, well, let me cover this. You guys have the star card upright. So your celebrity crush, I'm trying not to, sorry. Your celebrity crush and you would geek out, and you guys would get along with each other because you guys might have similar interests in that type of style of like interest. I think that maybe you might feel like you're the star, or you're the person who, like, you have maybe limited edition items and they're interested in you and they want to talk to you about it. Maybe they want to purchase it from you, or maybe you just get to like let them know that there's like, I feel like maybe you have more influence and sense, like not influence compared to them, but you might have the connections to like get some stuff that they might really like. So like, example, you're friends with like an animator or something, and they're like, yeah, and you're like, yeah, I can get you some autograph items, and they're like, are you serious? That'd be so cool, or stuff like that. Like they might find you like a person of interest because you guys have common interests, but you might have more, just not amenities, but more power to you. And like, or maybe they enjoy your, example, they might follow your Instagram account that's like full of like cute photos of they're geeking out, right? Hot, like, I can't think of something. So like, let's say you guys collect Funko Pops, and you guys have a room full of Funko Pops, and they really like to see it, and they follow and they like pictures of that, like they might see your stuff like that. Or you guys might example, fix cars, and they put, like, you guys put a lot of anime characters and whatnot, and like on the cars, and they find that interesting because it's very unique, or they like your pictures and stuff. So it could be that way, where you guys see each other through social media, or you guys just approve of each other's habits because you guys are two birds of a feather, But yeah, definitely you'll feel someone seen by them, because, or you like them because they make you feel seen, because they might be someone that's out there putting themselves in that way of like, I'm a geek and I'm proud kind of way. So that's what I have for you, pile number 1. Thank you. Next is pile number 2. You guys have the 9 of Cups upright, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Chariot reversed. So your celebrity crush would not be geeky, but I think it might be because of their work. So even though I didn't redo this, I sort of did forget some of those messages I said, but yeah, I do feel that your celebrity crush, it's not that they hate it either, it's just not their main focus. So maybe example, so let's say your celebrity crush, because if there's like a work connection here, sorry, I had to drink some water. So example, maybe you have a crush on someone that's like an actor or actress that's part of the Marvel universe. So they have to do a lot of these action scenes, and they feel cool in their costumes, and they love promoting it, and they love geeking out, and they research. They do their researching, because everybody does that as someone does like a part in the film, like a film. They do their own research on the character and everything, so they enjoy that. But it is work, so it's like, you know how people have uh, art interests, and you love art. Art is passion, art is life, right? But when you have it as a career, you might get a little bit stressed or on edge. You're like, yay, art is great, but I gotta do something else. Like, you want to talk about something else. Like, art is amazing, and it gets the pills. It gets the bills paid. I'm so sorry, but it can be a little bit exhausting on you. It's like, can we talk about something else? Can we talk about the news? Can we talk about fashion? Can we talk about coffee? You're like, anything but art. So it feels like that, where they enjoy what they do, and they enjoy being creative, and maybe it's through their creative field that they ended up getting geeky jobs, right? Or maybe they're part of other franchises too, or maybe they're voice actors and stuff. So they have a field of creative, they work in a creative field, they feel, that allows them to geek out publicly, but it's not like they want to all the time. That's what it feels like. They have to kind of pause themselves. The Chariot reverse too, the Queen of Pentacles reverse. It's like, it's a gamble too, you know, in a sense where sometimes, example, if you did like an actor and actress, you pigeonhole them, not you specifically, the audience, but directors and writers and, you know, like their PR teams and stuff. They pigeonhole them to be a certain role, and they never let them do other stuff. Like, not that they can't, but it's like they don't get offers, right? So they don't get offers for critically acclaimed, I can't say that, critically acclaimed dramas, or TV shows, or being part of like Netflix or Hulu shows, or being part of like serious movies, and, you know, stuff like that, or like even not even getting offers for other stuff that's unrelated to that, maybe like just writing or directing, or stuff like that, because they might, not that they don't take them seriously, but they gain a lot of attention, but it wasn't the right attention that they wanted, right? So that could be a way it can play out, where they enjoy being geeky, but they also have to limit themselves to being too much, because maybe people might not think of them much like, I know it sounds bad, but they might think of a more superficial way of like acting, and not so much like quote unquote in depth, which is whatever. But every person in like directing business is different, but for the most part, I think everybody knows that the Marvel actors and actresses don't get seen that great, because they're already pigeonholing themselves into like more action sequences, right? Rather than dialogue, or not dialogue, not that they don't, but like, you know, they're not like that seen that great through the lens of other people that are in the industry, because you're like, that's not real acting, that's not real movies, that's not in-depth stuff, and they get like awards and stuff. So, not throwing shade, but it's just like one of those things that can happen to them. So maybe that's why they limit how much they actually love what they're doing too, because they don't want to cut their finances down. It's like, if they overdo it, or they show too much enthusiasm to, people might not want to offer them those different roles, or they might not get good contracts, they might get the short end of the stick, and that's why they have to think about their finances first, right? So moving that aside, I just feel that maybe there's like, they love it, but they also don't love it as much, but they're okay with it. It's not like they have to geek out. So with you, you would be represented as a Queen of Cups reverse. So I don't think necessarily you and your celebrity crush would geek out together at the same stuff, or maybe you guys have differences in opinions or feelings about certain things or hobbies that you like. You might not like, example, they might be someone that might be voice acting video games, and you're like, oh, I hated that character. You're like, what? So it's like banter, right? But not banter like arguing, but banter in the sense like, I disagree with you. It can't I can't feel the connection. So it just feels like that. You're like, you might be a little bit more icy, a bit more standoffish, because maybe you don't like the way they talk either. So meeting your heroes in real life can burst your bubble, right? And like, oh, they're not my cup of tea. Not that they're bad people, but they're just like not it for you. So yeah, with this Queen of Cups, you wouldn't really geek out over the same things either. It's like you guys might geek out over maybe like the Star Wars franchise, and they geek out over like Star Trek, right? Um, just simple things like that, where it's like differences. Like you don't see emotionally in the same ways. So thank you, pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed that. Next, pile number 3. Let me take a sip of water. Well, I'm taking some of my juice first. And I'm almost done with it. So if you hear it, I'm sorry. And then I'll just drink my water now. I've been trying to increase my fluids. So, pile number 3, you guys have the 2 of Wands upright, the 6 of Pentacles upright, and the Wheel of Fortune upright. So this is a very positive yes. Yes. Your celebrity crush is very much a big geek. Congratulations, but I don't think that's no surprise to you. I think you just came here for the confirmation. Sometimes you don't always know whether your celebrity crush might like stuff, or they just do stuff for the endorsement, or because it's a contract or stuff like that, like they want to be seen good in a good light. So maybe that's why like you're like, are they interested in the same stuff, or are they just like faking it, right? Like some people can fake it. That's totally fine. But yeah, this person you're thinking about is very, very geeky. And not in a bad way, but they are. So now that we have that over, this 2 of Wands, I think that maybe when they geek out, I wonder if they're like outdoorsy people that do they travel to do geeky stuff, or do they travel to conventions, for example? Do they travel to meet artists that they love, or do they travel to purchase like really rare items that are not typically for sale, that they, like art pieces, for example, too? Like there's something about movement here. I sounded so nasally right now. I'm so sorry. I just catch myself sometimes. I just think that they see the big picture, but with the 6 of Pentacles, they're giving people. So I wonder how this relates to geekiness, where they could be someone that supports your vendors, like they support vendors wherever, like if they have a specific niche, they support all the vendors. They're like, yes, let's go to Etsy or whatever and like purchase all these cool items. Like it can play out like that, where they really like supporting the artist but supporting their franchise. They have a lot of love to give, and that way they're very like, they're that person who hearts everything, heart everything. So on their social media too, they might like a lot of different people who put out t-shirts maybe, or watches, or characters, animations, clothing, accessories, apparel. I keep saying stuff like that. Or I could also think of them being interested in costumey pieces, that they might like vintage pieces too, that remind them of their character. Or like imagine them like, oh, my character, like this actor, for example, wore this, like, I don't know, I'm thinking like random, but the actor that played Batman, I forgot his name, in the 60s, and they're like, oh, I have to have that Batman suit, like it's so cool, I want to keep it. So they like buy it, right? So they imagine that kind of thing, where they buy something that they've been keeping an eye on for a while. They've searched and they finally find it, so they purchase it for their private collection, right? So I think with the Wheel of Fortune, that there's someone that's always on the lookout and chaotic. Ouch. Sorry. I'm getting a little bit tired, but they could be someone who's already in the lookout for new items or items of interest, cool pieces that they might want to add to their collection, or maybe cool places that maybe the movie was set in, like example Hogwarts. Like I forgot where the hell was Hogwarts? Was it Ireland? The UK? I'm talking about like the scenery of the castles. Or is it France? Oh man, it's been a while since I remembered, but imagine like that. Like you're like, I want to go visit that, or like I want to go visit Universal Studios to like, is it Universal Studios? I'm gonna be so embarrassed if that's not where Harry Potter Castle's at. But I think it's in Florida, so like it can be one of those things where they do all these things relating to having the experience of being part of that world, right? So they get not encompassed, but they get they dive deep basically into their adventures. They're very adventurous people, but they really like spending their money and their geekiness. So I have a confirmation card for you guys, and when it comes to the confirmation card, you guys have the King of Cups upright. So you and your celebrity crush would geek out about similar stuff. So I think that you guys would emotionally connect with your geeky hobbits. Why do I want to say hobbits? Maybe you guys are into like the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings franchise too, but I just think that you guys would geek out emotionally, and maybe it's like you as a man, they're a man, but yeah, maybe I just think that you guys would show each other emotionally that you guys are invested in like these franchises, right? And it makes you happy, or it helps you move past something that was like making you feel lonely, and then you're like, I found this and it made me feel great, and like we can relate kind of thing. So maybe that's where you guys relate, where it's like you found this hobby, right, or this niche, and it made you very happy because you met other people who thought the same. So I just think you guys would both be geeking out, and like I think you both are very mature in that. Like you're in the older like audience, like you're not as young if you pick this pile. So I think maybe your celebrity crush might be around the same age as you, and you guys share that common interest of like, oh, I grew up in the 80s too, or the 90s, or the 2000s or something. So I get it, or maybe the 70s. So you're like, yeah, I grew up with that too, and you like geek out over nostalgia. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It helps me out with my channel, and I'll see you soon. So bye everybody.